In the early hours of February 24, 2023, in Herndon, Virginia, emergency services received several calls from the family home of a couple, the Banfields. The first call, made at 7:47 a.m. from their house on Stablebrook Way, didn't reveal much. The dispatcher could only hear what sounded like groans of pain and cries reflecting intense suffering until the line suddenly went dead, preventing operators from accurately locating what was happening. 15 minutes later, another call came in from the same location. In this second call, a man named Brendan Banfield and the Brazilian au pair, Juliana Peres Magalhães, told the 911 operator that they had shot an intruder who had broken into their home. Juliana spoke first, saying that someone had entered the house, but Brendan quickly took the phone and explained that the unknown man had attacked his wife, Christine Banfield, with a knife, and that he was forced to shoot him in self-defense. When the police arrived at the residence, they discovered a scene far worse than they had expected. On the second floor of the house were the bodies of 37-year-old Christine and Banfield, with multiple stab wounds, and a man with gunshot wounds to his torso. Christine was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead shortly afterward. In the home, the remaining occupants, Brendan, Juliana, and the Banfield's 4-year-old daughter, were in complete shock. After this brutal discovery, the police began investigating deeply to determine what had really happened that day. Was it truly self-defense? What was this man doing in their house? And did he know Christine? Let's explore all the details of this case and the mystery behind the double homicide in the Banfield home. Brendan and Christine Banfield appeared to be a normal, stable family living in the suburbs of Herndon, Virginia. They had been married for several years and had a 4-year-old daughter, whom they were raising with the help of their Brazilian au pair, Juliana Peres Magalhães, whom they had hired in August 2022 to assist with childcare and household duties. Christine, born in Long Island, New York, in 1986, had moved to Virginia after marrying Brendan. She worked as a nurse in the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit at Fairfax Pediatric Associates, where she earned the affection and respect of colleagues and patients alike for her dedication and empathy. Outside work, Christine focused on her family and creating a loving home for her daughter. Brendan Banfield, 40 at the time, worked as a criminal investigator for the IRS, handling financial crimes. In their community, the Banfields were well liked. The couple participated in neighborhood activities, though not frequently due to their demanding jobs. Because of their busy schedules, they decided to hire extra help at home, hence Juliana's arrival. Juliana, a young woman from São Paulo, Brazil, was raised by a single mother who cleaned houses for a living. From an early age, Juliana worked hard to build a better life. When she learned about an opportunity to work and study abroad through a program called Cultural Care Au Pair, she took it. In 2021, at age 21, she left Brazil for the U.S. A year later, she met the Banfields. As many au pairs do, Juliana was expected to live with the family, help with childcare, and receive housing, food, and a modest stipend in exchange. The experience is meant to be cultural as much as professional, learning the language and customs of the host country while sharing her own. However, once Juliana settled into the Banfields' home, she noticed growing tensions between Brendan and Christine. The couple argued frequently and appeared distant. Over time, Juliana and Brendan's relationship evolved beyond professional boundaries. As expected, this complicated the household dynamic, a situation that was bound to explode eventually. The investigation into the double homicide focused on the crime scene and the statements of those present that day. Officers found Christine's body on the second floor with multiple stab wounds to her neck and torso, indicating a violent and deliberate attack, not an accident or impulsive act. The supposed intruder had 2 gunshot wounds, one to the chest and another to the head. The blood patterns and the body's position suggested the scene had been altered. According to Brendan and Juliana, that morning Juliana had taken the Banfield's daughter to the zoo but returned home after realizing she had forgotten their lunches. From her car, she allegedly saw a strange man entering the house. She tried calling Christine, who didn't answer, so she called Brendan at work to alert him. Brendan said he rushed home, armed himself, and placed his daughter in the basement for safety. He asked Juliana to fetch a Glock handgun from their safe. When he went upstairs, he claimed to find a man attacking Christine with a knife. He shot the man but said he survived, prompting him to ask Juliana to retrieve another gun, which she used to fire another shot. Brendan also mentioned that he had installed soundproof windows so that noise from inside wouldn't disturb the neighbors, something investigators found suspicious, as it seemed more like premeditation. Meanwhile, the couple's 4-year-old daughter gave a crucial statement. She said Juliana had woken her early that morning and told her to stay quiet so as not to wake her mother. They left the house without breakfast and later returned. She also said that when her father arrived, he took her and Juliana to the basement while things were happening upstairs. As detectives pieced together the evidence, inconsistencies appeared. Christine's wounds were too precise for a random attack. The blood distribution didn't match the story. The intruder's belongings were neatly placed, and no signs of forced entry were found. Moreover, digital records showed that Christine's phone was turned off before Juliana's supposed call. Further analysis revealed that Brendan and Juliana were having a romantic affair, constantly messaging and coordinating. Suspicion quickly shifted toward them. Investigators began considering the possibility of a murder plot involving both. But who was this intruder? The man shot dead in the Banfields' home was Joseph Ryan, 39, from Springfield, Virginia. He was known as kind, gentle, and an animal lover who volunteered in pet adoption programs. He lived with his grandmother and had a quiet, responsible life. Investigators discovered that Joseph Ryan had been in a virtual relationship with Christine through a fetish website called FetLife, centered around BDSM communities. Ryan used the handle Taco Supreme 7000, while a profile named Anastasia 9, created from Christine's laptop and using her photo, was linked to her. This suggested she was indeed behind the account. Christine and Ryan had allegedly moved their conversations to Telegram, exchanging messages about private sexual practices, including blood play. This raised the possibility that Christine had invited Ryan to her home that morning, but things went wrong. However, in October 2023, when police revisited the Banfield home, they found that Brendan and Juliana were now living together as a couple, with their belongings and photos around the house. They also uncovered evidence of a secret trip the two had taken to New York before the murders. Data from phones showed Brendan hadn't gone to work that day. Instead, he sat at a McDonald's until Juliana called. Both had purchased burner phones afterward and deleted data from their originals, clear signs of an attempted cover-up. Authorities concluded that Juliana had impersonated Christine online to lure Joseph Ryan to the house, where both he and Christine were murdered. Juliana was arrested in October 2023, 8 months after the killings. Brendan was later arrested in September 2024, charged with aggravated murder for both deaths. In October 2024, Juliana agreed to cooperate with authorities, giving a full confession that changed the course of the case. She pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter, admitting she had shot Ryan but claimed it was under Brendan's coercion. According to her, Brendan masterminded the entire plan, creating the fake BDSM profile as Christine to lure anyone, to the house under false pretenses. When Ryan arrived, Juliana called Brendan to alert him. He entered the house, shot Ryan, then stabbed Christine repeatedly, telling Juliana to hang up on 911. Brendan then ordered Juliana to shoot Ryan again and helped stage the crime scene, smearing Christine's blood onto Ryan's body to make it look like a mutual struggle. Forensic evidence confirmed her story. Blood spatter patterns, autopsy reports, and manipulated evidence all matched her account. Brendan Banfield was charged with 4 counts of aggravated murder, use of a firearm in a felony, and child endangerment, since his 4-year-old daughter was present during the killings. His trial is scheduled for January 2025 and expected to last about 4 weeks. He denies all charges. Juliana remains in custody awaiting sentencing, which may be reduced depending on her continued cooperation. Experts have commented that this case highlights the dangerous mix of power, jealousy, control, and vulnerability, especially in relationships where one person, like Juliana, depends on another in a foreign country. The Banfield's daughter, now 7 years old, may testify, but her statements will be handled with extreme care to protect her emotional well-being. Among the lingering questions, why did Brendan ask Juliana to fire a second shot at Ryan if the first was already fatal? Was it truly necessary, or a way to implicate her further? And was the FetLife profile genuinely Christine's, or created entirely by Brendan? In summary, much remains unresolved. The spotlight is now on Brendan's upcoming trial, which may finally reveal the truth behind this shocking case of love, betrayal, and murder, and determine Juliana's ultimate fate. That concludes today's case. Share your thoughts below, and we'll meet again in the next story.